We are live.
Welcome.
Welcome. We need to change this over to the actual comment section here so we can read some of these. What's up, guys? Welcome to the first ever House Bowling pregame show.
Pre-show.
The
The
pre-show.
pre-show
The pre-show show is
The
what we're calling
pre-show
it.
show.
Live from the set of the U.S.
Live
Open.
from the set of
They
the
gave us the
UFO.
actual.
Yeah, we are literally sitting at the Fox set here, so it's pretty cool.
This is about as irresponsible.
Yeah,
as
so it's
it
pretty
can
cool. They let us have some access, so we can give you guys a pretty cool little live show before everything goes down. So welcome to the 2024 U.S. Open. We are sitting basically lane side here, waiting for what do we got? Another hour and a half before we go live on Fox. But yeah, this is probably one of the most anticipated telecasts ever.
Literally ever. It
Ever.
has to be the
Literally
most
ever,
stacked telecast
right?
ever.
So I mean, this is pretty unreal. We have 89 total titles between the 5 players and 28 majors, which is pretty insane. I mean, over half of them is from one player, but that's still pretty remarkable
Still,
that there's
nonetheless.
28 majors, let alone there's going to be 29 after today's show. Pretty crazy stuff. So we looked up some live betting odds. Now, let's, you guys, gamble responsibly. Us as professional bowlers, we are not allowed to gamble. So we're making that very clear. We're not allowed to gamble. We're just providing the information.
We just gamble with our
Just our
NFTs.
guts.
Yeah.
We just gamble with our NFTs.
Yeah, we gamble with our
That's
own
it.
bowling games. They're not our money.
So, Kev, you want to run down the live
Yeah.
betting odds of today's telecast?
And so, as the 5 seed of this telecast, having to run the ladder, which we all know is very hard to do, it's Bill O'Neill. He's at plus 1100. And then in 4th, we have EJ Tackett, who is at plus 1000. Then we get into that next match. Whoever wins that will bowl against Kyle Troop. He is at plus 800 to win. And Kyle hasn't won the US Open yet, right?
No, he finished second last year.
That's
That
right.
is
He's
his best
runner up.
finish.
So he's at plus 800. And then the guy that we all know, Jason Belmonte, is the 2 seed. He is plus 245. And our leader by a mile, dude, both amazing. The whole week, we knew after the first block he was going to lead. I mean, essentially, he is minus 114. But man, it's hard to, usually when you're like the 1 seed, it's hard to win sometimes the 1 seed because you only have a couple shots of practice. But it's hard to like bet against Belmo or bet against Simon. I mean, so
Yeah, I mean, it's also, you got Belmo, he's got to win 2 games at plus 245, so essentially a little more than doubling your money on a bet.
yeah,
That's
against the greatest ever do it in my opinion.
also not a bad play. But like I said, gamble responsibly.
Yeah.
Make sure you're of age. We will not be gambling. We're making that very
Again,
clear.
we're literally not
Making that very clear, right?
I just don't gamble, period.
No,
Yeah.
Save my money.
no miscommunication there. But if you guys had to make a pick for today's telecast, we can make an out there pick. We can make a. I feel like we're all. Simo's a part.
I
Very
like
hard.
one of each. I want to
Very
favorites
very
of
hard to
your
bet against. Yeah, so we're gonna have a favorite pick, as in it could be whatever, and then we're gonna have a hot take per se. So, Darren, you want to start us off?
Obviously, I'm going to go Simo for my pick to win. He's the homie, of course, but he's also one of the most creative and most versatile in the world. He adapts very well to any situation he's given forth, which is why he lusted me.
Yeah.
Personally wasn't very creative, so I would runner. But aside from that, my out there pick, I'm going to go back to back Bill O'Neill. Back to back majors.
Back to back.
So he should not have been bowling in the first place, in my opinion. This cut dropped 37 pins in the last day. I thought the first day was pretty hard. Apparently, the last day was the hardest. So I don't think he thought he would make the cut. He ended up making it at one
He
point.
had to change his flight.
And I think he said he had a flight booked for either that night or the following night, and Belmo actually ended up texting him saying, "Hey, by the way, I think you're going to make this cut because the number keeps dropping." He ended up being either one spot above the number or the number. I think he was one spot above,
It was one in, yeah.
and then he made the most of his opportunity. He went a zillion over the next block. I think he went like 200 over when nobody was really hitting him, and then he just continued to run and match.
Yeah.
I always like to say you got to ride the highs when the highs are going, and he's riding it right now. He just came off of a major win. He squeaked it in his cut, made the most of it. He's bowling for We won't without stuff.
And you see some shots. You see some shots there of Bill playing in match play. Why did you pick Bill? Did you pick him because he's going to play the lanes differently, or did you just got that feeling?
I'm just a strong believer in when the stars align, it's your time, and I feel like Bill's just fighting that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's pretty remarkable too. The last 2 weeks, like we came off scores being insanely high, like averaging like if you're
230.
if you're shooting 230, you're losing games.
Yeah.
You're needing to win like shooting 240s and winning matches to like maintain your lead to be able to keep up. And then you come here, and the match play pattern was a touch softer, but I don't even think it was really a touch softer than most. I just think you give these guys 4 opportunities.
Yeah,
for
you're
the same pattern. They're going to figure it out. They're going to end up bowling some better games. But I mean, 2-0 for winning a lot of matches.
Yeah,
So
a lot.
you go from needing 240 to win matches, you go 2-0 to win matches. Those are very different mentalities that you have to be in. But Bill's the for right now.
Also, I think it makes the best run is when scores are lower.
Yeah.
You don't have to shoot 270 to bump up. You can shoot 230 with the win. It's a lot more manageable. So making the run that he made is a lot. I don't say easier to do because the lanes are harder, but you have more chance to do that when the scores are lower. Versus like in Wichita when we bowled last week, you shoot 240 and not move a spot.
Who's
Yeah.
your pick?
It's hard to not pick Simon. He's, in my opinion, the most talented guy to ever touch a game. He can do anything at any time. Where I think sometimes the 1 seed gets tricked because you only get, like we saw last week, Tom Smallwood was the 1 seed, and you heard him if you watch the telecast. He said that's the worst ball choice I've ever made because you only get how many shots? 8 shots. And you don't, you can kind of see what the guys are doing, but you're usually throwing shots offset to kind of stay loose and get your mind cleared. So, but Simon can see, he's the most fearless bowler there is, and he's the most talented. He can do anything. So that 8 shots, 10 shots that he gets, he can figure it out. So it's hard to not pick Simon.
I believe he can see you.
He just has a superpower.
He makes these out there moves. Like,
Well, you see right here, most guys who are playing that part of the lane. First off, most guys weren't really playing that part of the lane where he's playing almost that middle zone where he's playing in the track, and he was doing it with a bigger ball. Whereas like you saw some guys do it out there with the urethane, and then you saw somebody jump way in, like you saw previously. You saw Bill playing like the inside middle part of the lane. He just thinks of these things, like you said. It feels like he can see the oil.
Yeah.
It does.
It feels like he can visually see what's going on.
It's not that he makes these moves. He makes the moves and they work. Like he'll be launching the left cap.
Yeah, it's not
He'll
an
be going
altitude.
250, and then he'll go with like 10.
You guys were at the Lucy.
Yeah, and go 290.
At the Lucy, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, everybody's deep. It's like we're into it's a round robin 12-game match
Yeah.
play. Round robin 12-game match play. And game like 9, he just decides instead of playing 4th arrow, that he's going to play in between 1st and 2nd arrow and throw it as hard as he can. And he ends up shooting like 300, then 270 to win the tournament
Yeah. and
by
it's-
150.
It reminds me of the Players Championship when like everyone was kind of really like kind of slow looking the lane. Everyone kind of got like pretty far left into the left gutter, and he comes onto the show and he's playing like 22 to like 14 or 15, and just piping it, keeping it really in front of him. And yeah, so he's incredibly creative.
Also, I think that's Simon's biggest downfall at times too, is he's so creative and he can do anything that we've seen him on telecast come out as the 1 seed and he tries to play a part of the lane that he just thinking to try to play. So you gotta think, the guy's playing pretty well. Let's say Belmo gets to him and Belmo's going 20-6, Simon can do it just as good as Belmo. Sometimes Simon tries to trick it and get the bench and play like up 6 with the earth, and we've seen him lose some like titles because of that, because he's fearless, man. But as much as it helps him, it hurts him sometimes too. But more often than not, it does help him. So
Who's your out there pick?
I don't even.
Does
If
it
I
out
want
there
to
pick
pick,
exist?
No.
here's the thing.
On this, really, yeah.
Here's the thing. There's the most out there pick I think would be. Well, there isn't, because Belmo's the greatest major champion winner ever. Simon led by the favorite. Bill just won, so Bill has the hottest hand. Technically, he just won last week. He's confident. He snuck into the match play, and then he took advantage of it. And then EJ won last year, and Kyle Chu was the runner-up last year. So every one of these guys has a reason to be in the telecast. So it's like, I want to see Bill do it because, one, it's fun to see someone run louder because it's so hard to do. But I think he does have a high hand. I agree with Darren on that, where it's like, when guys are bowling good, everything just kind of clicks. It makes it a lot easier to make decisions, like mentally and physically. And, you know, you can bowl with nothing to lose when you just won 100K in your major. Now he's trying to make a run at player of the year early. So,
I feel like the only out there picks are because they have older matches.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's the only
The
only reason.
only reason.
I think Simon gets it done just because we've seen it too many times. And he bowls the best as the one seed, in my opinion, versus other people who kind of make their own decisions. He makes it work on the fly most times than not.
I do have a take on this show in particular. I feel like it's not as much of an advantage to bowl another game because the lanes change so fast.
Yeah.
Front panel here, you just never know. Like you can move any it's just completely different. Agreed. I feel like Simo has a better chance here as a one seed than a one seed.
Because it might be a different ball game when you get to that final game.
Right.
Yeah, might not be the same process.
Real quick, do you guys? So I saw a bunch of questions. We talked about the gambling odds. What was the website if people are looking to bet on that? I had a bunch of people saying it's not on FanDuel, it's not on
It's
DraftKings.
called like River.
Is
Wait, we can't tell them because they're not paying us.
Bet River Casino wants to pay us.
I believe Bet Rivers is the
That River.
most has the most odds out
Okay.
that I've seen kind of people talk about on Twitter.
Okay.
Yeah. So shout out Big Mike. I know I follow him on Twitter and he's talking about the Bet Rivers all the time. So
I will say, Bill O'Neill, it's interesting because he's in a very similar situation. This is going to be EJ's hometown crowd,
Yeah.
much like it was Ryan's hometown crowd last week.
Yeah.
So it,
Does that give him a competitive edge up?
I'd
Be the underdog.
I almost think, and it's interesting because EJ won here last year with the hometown crowd, right? But I do think it does add a sense of pressure on him in terms of
and he
he's
struggling.
he won well, and he's not only did he struggle the year before, he also struggled yesterday on TV. We bowled on this pair yesterday
As it's on.
during the TV show. Simon struggled on it. Simon struggled on it. EJ struggled on it. Troop bowled well. However, you can only take so much of this into factor because those guys' minds are probably not on bowling the league.
Well, I was going to ask you
Yeah.
guys. I was going to ask, do you think that they were kind of using that as a case? Be like, sure.
And I joked with Guffey afterwards. We were leaving the set, and I was like, you know, Troop being on the show tomorrow, we just beat them. I joked with Guffey. I was like, it's all right, rather lose today than tomorrow. Because I mean,
Of course.
as much as you want to win the league match, you don't really get anything besides a little higher in the standings. Whereas today, they're bowling for 100,000.
Yeah.
So you can get amazing. Getting done bowling 56 or whatever games.
Yeah.
They got to go straight.
Get onto the hot lights.
I think so, 100%. I think that those guys bowling, you're bowling 56 games. Absolute grind this week. Like no pattern was really easy. Obviously, some bowled really well, but once those guys get done 56 games, they make the TV show. They're done. They want to chill for the rest of the night. Guess what? You got to wake back up. You got to get back to the ones where you guys get here 11, 12, something like
Yeah, we
that.
got here at 12.
And you got to have more practice and completely different pattern. And you have you're bowling again. So you're bowling.
Your mind is somewhere else.
Your mind is completely somewhere else, and you're kind of happy. I wouldn't say relieved, but it's like, all right, like you kind of got some weight off your shoulders. You made the TV show. Then now it's like, okay, well now you got to flip the switch, complete 180. You got to come back, and now you got to bowl a match. With teammates. And teammates are dependent on you. And it's just, I think it's tough to be able to come through this much of a grind and get back into a strong mental state to be able to help out your team. So I think that's what we saw for sure.
56 games is a physical level for sure. But
Mental level.
This event is mentally taxing, like
So-
to a different level. You can't compare it to 56 games. Okay, anybody can really go through.
Yeah, we were bowling on tough stuff, different every day, different squats, different times. You can't get into a routine like a typical event.
Yeah, you just
We
gotta be
bowl in the morning, then we bowl at night, then we bowl in the day. We have a 36-hour break before our next squad. Yeah, it is mentally taxing for sure. But that's why the top five, because these guys, it comes down to mental is way more important these days than it is physical. Like, if you know what you're doing mentally, you're going to go a long way. You don't have to make as good a shot for the moves. These guys obviously don't. But
Yeah.
these guys are just mentally tough. I swear, every time I watch EJ bowl, I feel like he's not bowling that well. But I look up and then he's just grinding away and he's intense. Every time I'm like, maybe he's struggling. And then I'm like, oh, he found a way to shoot 220 still.
Yeah,
Talks
right.
about clear, open, and then
And then we look up and we're like, I feel like I'm struggling. 60.
yeah. I
I
don't
feel
have
like I'm struggling, and I am struggling.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. So you had Simo and Bill.
Simon Bill.
You have Simo and Bill.
I didn't lock in Simon. I kind of think Bell's gonna do it.
Okay. So,
And also, I'm kind of wanting it to on the fact that I have a wager with him. If he wins, he's gonna do something.
okay. Okay.
But I
But
think
he's also
Belma's gonna
Captain
do it.
Belma for us.
El Captain, my captain. Here's our
Yeah,
captain.
yes. Teammate.
He and Mike out.
He ain't like
He, your captain either, but I think I'm gonna go Belma. I didn't touch up on him much, but I just think like he's gonna get back to his ways because we haven't seen him do the Belma thing as much in the last 2 years.
He just
That he
prime
has.
spot.
Yeah, I think the 2 seed is the best position to be almost a little bit better than the 1 because you get a game under your belt, and if you can get out of there, you know it's range for a little bit. So Belma,
but he has, I don't want to say struggle, because I don't think struggle is the accurate word.
Right.
But he
This
has,
was sick, by the way.
but he has historically not performed the greatest on TV in this building.
yeah,
So it'll be interesting to see him come out to see if he can actually go with two pretty solid games. He's bowled okay. Like I said, it's not like he's bowled horrific, but he hasn't been like we have Belmo on Belmo's kind of on that pedestal that no one else is on. So
It's like-
it's like the expectation of what he needs to do to perform is so much higher than everyone. So it's like when I say he hasn't really performed, he hasn't really performed up to his standard. He just
That's one.
but I think part of it is this bowling symbol. Like he's bowled well to get here, but it's like when you get on the TV lights, they tend to hook a little bit earlier. Well, guess what? This building already hooks really early.
Right.
So it's just getting to the fact of how is he going to get into the front part of the lane, especially if he's going matches 3 and 4.
Yeah.
So that it's going to be very interesting to see how he manages. So you got your pick and your out there pick.
Yeah, I think Simo would be my next pick. And my out there pick is Kyle Troop because I think Kyle's got the most to gain. He has the least amount of majors. He is that like up and comer who's been on TV a ton, won a ton, but is not in the same category as the other 3 or 4 guys. Bill's already in the Hall of Fame. No, he's not already.
They're all future Hall of
They're all going to be future Hall of Famers. However, Bill has 3 majors looking for a 4th. He's won a bunch, but it's just not. It's not the big tournament that the other guys have consistently won.
yeah.
He did win the biggest prize fund, so obviously he ain't scared of it. But
Yeah.
I do think the Troop does have the most to gain, and he's going to play the crowd, and the crowd's going to love him. And I do think that plays a little bit of a factor. Obviously, the guys who made TV's a bunch. The crowd may be there for all of them, but I do think if EJ loses in the first match, Troop will be the crowd favorite.
Yeah.
If he doesn't, EJ will continue to be the crowd favorite no matter what.
I agree. I agree.
Someone did comment. I don't know who it was back in the group saying that this will be EJ's first TV show with his son.
Yeah. Well, actually,
Little power of the dad.
Yeah.
Little dad power going on.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see.
The thing is, like we talked about earlier, like going for your home crowd, there is a level of putting too much pressure on yourself. I was the 1 seed in Tarifa last year, and that was my hometown. And like you wanted a little bit more, and it might get in the way of what you're doing. So him having his son here, him being a hometown, him being the defending champion is so hard. I mean, to win period,
Yeah.
and champion. This isn't too much. Because there is times where we've seen him. EJ is obviously great, best in the world last year, hands down. But EJ has to fold under pressure at times. He does.
Well, I think we kind of saw that 2 years ago here in the building. Like last year, he led by a good amount, but I think 2 years ago he did the butterfly break led by like 5 or 6.
Wow.
Like it was like insane what he led by. But then he struggled really bad on TV, and it's so hard to judge off TV where it's like, did he put too much pressure on himself, or is it just simply a bad game? Like we talked about last week, made the wrong ball choice, and it looked like the last half of the game looked like he had the old in 2 months.
Right.
It just looked really, really bad. So it's so hard to judge based off of that one game because you can go out there, you can execute what you're trying to do, but you just made the wrong choice at the wrong time, and everything just looks magnified.
Yeah.
And trying to chase it, and it makes it look just that much worse. So yeah, it'll be interesting. I would have a hard time believing that he's going to come out here and bowl a bad game. It's probably the hottest bowler in the world right now with Bill. They come in that first match on fresh. Bill's had some pretty good luck.
Yeah, I mean, I would
on
take
that batter.
Bill fresh over EJ personally.
That being said, I did put a poll up down below, and 70% of people picked EJ to win the first game.
To win the first
Yeah.
game.
And
So we're gonna run a little bracket just with you
That's the
guys.
thing too.
We're gonna run a little bracket just with you guys where we'll have you guys pick your winner throughout. Where we'll you guys pick an EJ to win the first round. We'll do EJ versus Troop up next, and we'll let you guys pick throughout the stream
That's the
your
thing.
own winner.
yeah,
This ladder, the top four are the power four for the last 5 years. It's been Simon Belmo, True, EJ. Those are the best in the world. And then the top 5 to 7 have always been interchangeable. You had your player of the year run where you're sneaking in there, Fraser did, Bill sneaks in there. But the 4 were not interchangeable. The top 4 are the best 4. There's a stat that we have in there that since Simon's been on tour, 54% of the majors won have been by these guys.
Yeah.
So half the time, these are the guys winning since Simon's been on tour for 8 years or so.
yeah, since 2015, I believe. Yeah, 24 of the 44 and majors, that's including today.
Yeah.
24 of the 44 majors have been won by the 5 individuals that
That's
are going to
crazy.
be on this telecast.
It's crazy.
And I mean, they, like we said earlier, they have 28 majors. There's only 4 of their majors, and I think those were, Masters early in the 2010s.
Well, did you see
and
his
the
tweet?
2010 U.S. Open as well.
Belmo put out a tweet that said, "This is my favorite show I've ever been on. And it's the most stacked show." Just simply,
You
Yeah,
think that adds fuel to the fire for Bell?
yeah, 100%.
yeah.
He
This-
beats into that spot
like,
because then
You have to have a little more pride in winning
he
this.
talks about that a lot. Where he's like, "I want to beat the guys who are trying to beat me." Like, obviously, we're all trying to beat him, but he knows. He's talked about numerous times. Simon and EJ are the guys that have came for Belmo for the last 7 years. So yeah, he definitely wants to win this one because these are the best 5. Bill's been his best friend on tour for a long time. They used to room together. So this is gonna be the craziest show. Potentially. You don't know, but potentially it could be a huge show because of this. So
It's just a little different than some guys were there. And I think especially so on you like Nick for example. EJ, Belmo, Simon. That step ladder finals, he could have gone to the gauntlet. He ran the ladder. He bowled for the title against Belmo. That would have been one of the greatest
Yeah.
moves. I don't care where it's bowling. You're on TV or it's a live event. That is the pinnacle.
Yeah, it's like if you know, they always say like, oh, it's a story they could tell your grandkids. It's like yeah, it's like, oh, who did you beat for your title? It's like, I beat Jason.
Yeah.
So it's like it's one of those where it just it
adds
means
to
it
that
just
fact.
means that much more.
Yeah.
It's like these are the shows that really shows up. It's like these
this one's no talking.
this is the guys. This is they're all in the primes. They're all winning primes. Like this is the one. I mean, it's not going to be easy for anyone.
Right.
So
I'll tell you the one title I have, Belmo didn't bowl. And there just feels like there was a slight hole. I mean, I did beat Kyle for Player of the Year, but I think Belmo wasn't there. He congratulated me. I just felt a little different than usual. And of course, he's telling me, like, no, man, got the dog. Blah, blah, blah.
Same things for me.
you're still beating a field of professional bowlers, so it win any tournament. I don't care what it is. Like you go home and you have a sweeper.
Winning's the best.
Like it just bowling in general, winning tournaments is a very hard thing to do, especially when you come out here. It's magnified times 100.
I think we talked about that too, where it's like it doesn't matter. The greatest bowlers of all time have won like a 10%, like maybe 5.
Way less than that. It's I remember the statistics.
Like who's
I
the
think that was
greatest?
Walter.
Like who?
It was
But
less
he's
than 5%.
but he's probably not.
Less than 5%.
Is Belmo or Simon a greater statistical winner?
No.
By now, they have to.
Yeah.
They have to be.
Well,
We don't bowl no against
EJ probably has statistically the highest win rate of this year.
I'm pretty sure there was.
21.
I'm pretty sure there's a statistic where Belmo at one point had won like 20% of the major. Something absolutely stupid. Like just really stupid. I do remember Walter was the all-time winning NBA tour, and he won less than 5% of the tournaments.
Right.
Now I believe, obviously I believe Belmo is going to up that. I believe EJ is probably even higher than that right now. I bet you Significantly probably higher than that right now. So it's a pretty crazy thing, but like I said, like, just even like how dominant he's going to are, and he can put it together on one show. I mean, it's literally
It's gonna be fireworks.
anything can happen.
What's your guys' prediction of the winning score? Whoever it is, you know, we have our own picks and everything. What's the winning score? Because I can see this here getting hard because we have so much rev rate. Bill's the lowest rev rate by a lot. Everyone else has a lot of rev rate. The front camera earphones are mild. The lights make the front camera look even more. And it's US Open. It's the hardest tournament of the year. So are supposed to be low, or are these guys going to duke it out with the best?
I think the winner will take that.
I think the middle part of the step ladder is a tricky. I think those like games like halfway from game 2 into game 3, I think those are going to be pretty nasty. I think you can see a 190 in a match, but these guys with these guys for I think whoever is in the final match, Bowl and Simo, I think they show up, and I think you're gonna need it.
Really?
I think they're gonna get into it, but it's just these guys are on. It's another planet. Yeah,
I think that's. I can see that. I
I think
agree.
it's high, but I think it's wow. These guys just show up when it matters the most, and this title, I think, we're like the last few minutes. How much more these guys want because of who's there. So I think it's just going to be another focus, determination. So I'm excited.
I agree with your theory. I see that these guys are going to show up and just figure it out because the atmosphere, what we're going for, the pride of how hard of a round this is. I can see them bowling good. I can also see it being a very low score.
100%.
I think it's going to be one or the other. I don't think it's going to be 210. I think it's going to be higher than that.
210 to 190 train.
See, I don't think it's going to be that. I think either it's going to be really low to win or they're going to duke it out. I don't think it.
We could see what we saw yesterday on there's a PBA league match where it could be 180 to 170 to win. It
Right.
very well could happen. This voting gets extremely nasty. I mean, we've seen it. I think EJ won like 140 or 150 the year that he was the high seed. 2 years ago that he was the high seed.
Yeah.
Just because this pair can get disgusting. It's all in the same pair for the TV show every year in this movie. And so it's very realistic that they can get very, very disgusting. But I just think these guys are good enough. I think they'll boil good game.
So I feel like a lot of guys going to try to throw yours in early because I felt like when we watched the match, we watched a lot of guys were trying to point it off like 4 or 5, keep it pretty in front of them. How much trickier does that make it for you right-handers having a majority of the guys doing everything? Like we deal with that, but it's just not as magnified as I feel like you guys are. So if they start off, I don't think EJ is going to throw your thing, but like Simon might try to do it, Bella might try to do it. All the rest of them might try to do it besides EJ.
Yeah, no Belmo and Troop would take a strong guess that they're going to try it. Maybe not Belmo since he's going to be
He's a 2-seed, yeah.
so he'll have games in.
I think it really depends on what the pair shape is. Like, I mean, I definitely see Baldo going back to it. Like, once
He had to run here where he wanted to be back. So it's definitely a possibility, but I think it just gets so much more magnified, especially in this building. The front boat, urethane obviously makes them a little bit tighter down lane. The ball wants to hook early anyway, so you got to try to chase it. And then it wants to shoot urethane. It's urethane, so it's going to make it back around the corner. Just make it tighter down.
I think the trickier part, right side of the mix is we have 4 guys swinging from different spots.
Yeah, so it gets like this.
Concentrated on the left side, so it's a little
those
fine, but you just don't know who's going to be there most of the time when you cross the building. Obviously, the show you can see when you're playing, but you can't see the way. It's not maybe.
Super
So if you don't really know what's going to happen when you're going to.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking to, well, watching somebody dedicated stream, and we're right. Like
that was the straightest I've ever seen.
The front behind, he was almost playing from 4 to like 6, like he was literally almost getting it going towards the heaven. And then you saw a True where he was playing like 12 to 8.
Yeah.
He's playing much more in the
zone.
Yeah, he's playing much more in the track area. So you got a guy kind of shaping it a little bit, but not even getting to where Belmo was throwing it right spot for it.
So it doesn't even see it.
Yeah, but then you almost got 2 urethane gas across it. that spot could be a disaster.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be a disaster.
Because you can't look.
It could be a disaster for reactive.
Yeah, you can't move in and go around because it just
So just keep falling off. But so then you almost got to get it to book earlier than that.
which
And you
is
can't.
not what you want.
Yeah, it's not really what you want. So it just gets to be, like I said, that's where the 180 to 100.
See the pattern.
Yeah.
See the
That's
pattern.
where 180 to 170.
Yeah, I think
But
that's
what's most impressive about the guys crossfit here is the match play qualifying is that you don't really know if he's doing what. It's time Smith and deep in the line. You know what happened earlier.
yeah.
And the fact that we can manage that is something that really good score as they're crossing the house like that.
All right, so if you guys, we're gonna wrap it up real quick because the audio is the Wi-Fi, the center, they're blocking us. But I'm sure the trucks are all turning on and they're getting ready to run the show. But if you guys had one last pick, who do you think's gonna win?
Final pick, not
One
just
pick,
your
not just one pick straight up across the line. Darren,
Simon.
El captain, my captain. I'm going Belmo actually.
I'll take Simon.
I'm gonna go Egypt. I think it'd be cool to run the ladder. I think it'd be cool to see someone win with the home crowd.
Yeah.
Kid behind, like kid who's less than a year old behind him. Yeah, I just think it'd be ideal. But all right, thank you guys for watching, tuning in. Hopefully we'll do this again with better Wi-Fi. The guys are throwing shots behind us right now, and next time we might have a better setup. We might not.
I don't think it's gonna get better this time.
But yeah, thank you guys for watching, tuning in. We'll catch you guys on the next one.
Watch the show. Let's get it.
Watch the show. Tune in FS1 in
1 hour.
1 hour.
1 hour. See y'all there.
Peace.